Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. So, we were basically raised in a system that taught us to stay in school, graduate with honors, and that's how we're gonna basically live completely financially comfortable till the day we die. However, we have seen in cases like doctors, engineers, and even lawyers that they struggle in their late lives and they have problems paying their bills and sometimes even die with debt left for their families to take care of. I'll be making a self-growth book series that will share the step-by-step into my healing journey and my growth as a person. Now, these books are going to be divided into parts, and this is part 1 of Rich Dad Poor Dad. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure you give this a thumbs up so I know you like this type of content, and obviously subscribe so you don't miss anything after that. And now, let's get started. Now, in Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert tries to let you reflect on your financial education and help you escape the rat race by understanding the system and explaining why the poor remain poor and the rich grow richer. At the beginning of the book, Rich Dad pointed out how we tend to blame the system and everything around us for how we are. However, if we take a closer look into the very person who's responsible for everything, it's going to be ourselves. How many times you wanted something so bad, but the first thought that came to your mind was, I just can't afford it. Oh boy. Now, most of us actually fall for this, and this completely numbs your brain, so you don't think about any solutions and you just give up. You go look for a job, you work for somebody else, and that's how the cycle continues. You continue working for money instead of actually finding ways to make money work for you. So your homework for this part of the video is, next time you want something so bad, don't just give up into the thought that, ooh, I can't afford it. Instead, ask yourself, how could I afford it? What could I do so I can be able to afford that thing? Now, Rich Dad emphasized that most people are controlled by 2 things, fear and greed. Fear of being without money, so they constantly chase a paycheck. But once they have it, greed takes over and it gets them thinking about all the things they could buy, which makes them need more money and makes them spend more. This is what Rich Dad calls the rat race. And that's actually how most people fall into the trap of working their whole lives for money instead of trying to find ways to make money work for them. So, the first step for you to actually escape the rat race is it's very simple. Just you need to be honest and admit how you feel about your relationship with money. Because again, most people are influenced by how they feel instead of actually thinking logically. Most people are afraid of admitting that money runs their lives, so they continue on taking decisions that money continues on actually controlling them. So, we need to put in mind one thing, that basically your job is a short-term solution to a long-term problem. Now we're diving into chapter 2. Now there was a very important quote that says, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. This quote dives deep into the financial literacy and education that most of us don't have. So Rich Dad tries to deliver accounting in basic simple terms. Now let's get into it. So you want to be rich? Simple. Just buy more assets and stop buying liabilities. But no, it's not like that. Most people buy liabilities thinking it's assets. And this is the big problem that most of us don't understand. For example, your car is not an asset. And now I have another surprise for you that I think most of you don't know it, and for some weird reason most people confuse this for an asset, but it's actually a liability. Let me get my microphone. Your home is not an asset, it's a liability. It's actually one of your biggest liabilities ever. It's not an investment. Now, Rich Dad tried to present a simple income statement and balance sheet of the poor, middle class, and the rich. Now, if we look closely into the income statement of a poor person, we're going to see that his only income is his salary, and it's only one source of income. So obviously this is going to go out to the basic expenses that he has to pay, which is his tax, rent, food, transportation, and clothes, etc. Now we can move on to the middle class. And again, I told you, most of the middle class have the understanding that the liabilities are actually assets. So they keep on falling into that trap. For example, now we can see that the middle class has a job. That job gives him the salary, which is his income. That salary goes right away to the liabilities, which is paying his mortgage, his car loans, his credit card debt, school loans. He may think that, for example, his home is an asset, but however, it's actually a liability because it's taking money out of his pocket. Now, if we move on to the rich income statement and balance sheet, on the other hand, we're going to notice something different.
The income this time is actually not generated by a salary, it's actually generated by the asset column, which includes the real estate, stocks, bonds, notes, intellectual properties, and probably even many more options that could be available, especially how in 2022 right now, there's many more options that are available to generate income than it was in the past. So if we look closely right now, all of the income comes from dividends, rental income, interest, royalties. And then after we get our income, we simply start to distribute it throughout our expenses and our liabilities column, which is going to be our taxes and mortgage payments and, let's say, credit card debt as well.
Now that brings us to the end of Rich Dad Poor Dad Part 1. And it's homework time. Let's go. Now, your first task. If you have a goal or something you want to achieve or something you just simply want to buy, instead of going like, I can't afford it, now try asking yourself questions. By asking yourself questions, you're activating your brain and not just carrying it and throwing it in the garbage like it's useless. So instead you can ask yourself, how could I afford this? Second task. You need to start to reflect on yourself and your purchasing habits. Do you think your purchases eventually, are they gonna put money in your pocket or will they continue on taking money out? And Robert insisted overall in the book the importance of accounting and just having a basic understanding about it, because it's going to help you understand how cash flows and how could you actually keep money. So if you're looking for an accounting course to actually start online, I'm going to be leaving a link down below. So make sure to check it out and start your financial education today. And that's it. See you in my next video. Thank you for tuning in. I hope I helped you learn something new here, and I hope I saved your lazy butt from reading it and give you the main point. Goodbye.